Did anyone grab your name and info and all that?
No.
Sure, can I just grab that?
Yeah,
Do you have a light?
Is the car not his? I mean, you can't probably say.
It's under investigation right now.
Okay,
so.
no worries, no worries.
So he's been wanted by the police for a while. They finally caught him when I was in the Uber. So recently I posted this to my Instagram story and everyone was freaking out, being like, Lindsay, what the hell happened? Are you okay? Guys, you're not gonna believe what happened to me last night, okay? Short story is that I took an Uber home last night and the cops pulled us over because turns out my Uber driver was a wanted criminal. So today I'm gonna tell you what happened. And no, it's not clickbait. I got it all on video. Stuff went down. It was Friday, November 11th. I was coming home from being downtown. And so it was pretty late. I think it was like about 12 something. Everyone messaged me when I posted this on my story. And they're like, oh my God, are you okay? Did you get in the wrong car? No, I didn't get in the wrong car. I'm not a dumbass. I made sure that the license plate and the make and model of the car all match up before I get into any Uber. So I made sure that it was correlating to what the app was saying. It was my ride. I got in. He literally didn't say anything. I always go, hi, how are you? Nothing. So I was like, okay, whatever. And he obviously had my ride on the screen. It was all good. He just didn't talk the whole way through.
Because he's guilty.
And so we're almost at my place. I would say we're literally a minute from my place. Not even. I can see my building. It's right there. When all of a sudden, out of nowhere, completely silent, didn't even hear sirens or anything, a cop car, it wasn't like a cop car, it was like, I'll insert an image of what vehicle it was. The police speed right in front of us and cut us off, like literally blocking our lane. And I look out the back and there's 3 more police vehicles behind us. And out of nowhere, there's literally 5 officers out of the car. Like, they hopped out of that car so fast. It was insane. So in my head, I'm thinking, oh my God, what did I do? I didn't think, what did this guy do? And I was like, oh, you know what? It's probably like a breathalyzer check, like a random check to make sure that people aren't drinking and driving. And that's what I thought it was. And you know, the driver was actually driving really safe this whole time. So I was like, oh, maybe he was speeding when he got off the highway, but I didn't think so. So I was like, oh, maybe it's just like a random alcohol check. And then in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? I'm like, are they after me? I'm like thinking back, I'm like, oh my God, my driver's license is expired, but I'm like, I'm not the one driving, you know? So I'm here panicking, and that's when I started recording after I realized what had happened. Yeah, so we're surrounded by cop cars and police officers. They're making sure that we're not going anywhere, okay? Men on either side of the vehicle. There's a cop car in front of us blocking us and 3 behind us to make sure we ain't going anywhere. But the guy was complacent, whatever. He turned off the car and the police officer came up and he's like, do you know why we pulled you over? And I'm listening like, no, why? What's going on? What'd he do? And the guy was like, no. He's very soft-spoken, so I could hardly understand what he was saying. And he was also like shaking, like you could tell he was nervous.
Because he's guilty.
And the police officer goes, well, we have reason to believe that your license plate and your car don't match.
Right to jail.
So do you have your license and registration? And this guy's all like, they don't match? Oh. And then he's like reaching up and then he pulls it out from like where you put the sunglasses in. He pulls it out, and that's when I started recording. So I'm gonna insert the clips.
So that's insurance number?
And so he pulls it out, and at this time, the police officer on the driver's side say, are you operating as an Uber right now? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, just sitting back here, like literally like this. I'm like, what's going on? And then the other police officer comes to my door and he's shining a light in my eyes, and he goes to open the door, but it's locked. So I'm like trying to unlock it. I'm like, just get me out of the car. But the guy unlocks the door and he opens it, and I'll insert the clip here.
You're Uber? It's alright. You may want to step out for a little sec.
But he's just like, are you an Uber right now? I'm like, I'm just in an Uber. Like, listen to my voice. I'm like, I'm just an Uber.
You're Uber?
So I get out of the car. He's like, yeah, you're going to want to get out of the car. So I get out of the car and I'm on the grass and I'm talking to him.
It's okay. That's fine.
Yo, I literally live right over there. My heart.
That's when I realized what was going on. I talked to the guy. I talked to multiple officers because I was being Nancy Drew and I wanted to figure it out. And I was like, so did he steal the car?
Oh, did he steal it?
And one guy kind of just looked at me. When I put the footage in, you're gonna see that I'm laughing the whole time and I'm making jokes with the officer because that is my coping mechanism, okay? I'm not gonna start to cry and freak out.
Well, it's called a coping mechanism.
So I'm cracking jokes and I'm like, oh, I better get a free ride.
I mean, if I can get the ride for free. little refund from Uber.
So you're Uber driver?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can I get the ride for free?
You'll have to talk to Uber about that
Yeah.
one.
You may want to get a refund for that.
That's what I was saying.
And then I went to another officer. Actually, no, the officer came up to me and he's just like, hi, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, my place is literally right over there. Like, I'm telling them, like, my place is I'd rather just go home. My place is right there. The guy's like, has anyone talked to you or got your information? And a statement, I'm like, no, not yet.
Did anyone grab your name and info and all that?
No.
Here, can I just grab it?
Yeah.
Do you have a license or anything on you?
Oh my god, yes. How exciting! Wow. Okay.
You probably have.
There you go.
Thank you.
No worries.
So he gets like my information and I'm just like, so did he steal the car? And he's just like, it's under investigation.
Is the car not his? I mean, you can't probably say.
It's under investigation right now.
Okay,
so.
no worries, no worries.
But the guy got all my information and they basically said I was free to go. And since I was so close, I just walked there. Like, it's not like they were going to offer to drive me because it's like, I was like, it's right here. So I went back on the Uber app because I wanted to obviously tell Uber what happened. And I'll tell you what Uber actually said to me. It's still an ongoing case, so I haven't been refunded yet. So I'm just waiting.
Just give her the money you owe her.
So I opened the Uber app and I look at the guy's profile and I'm like, I recognize this guy. I rode with him before. He was my Uber driver twice and both rides were both really late at night. I'll put the receipts up so you can see that I'm not lying. That his license plate, I'll blur out the numbers, but his license plate match. So I was in his Uber the first time back in July or August, when I had an event and it ended close to 1, so I took the Uber home. And I remember him being the driver because he couldn't find me for 15 minutes. And I'm standing in the intersection on the phone with him being like, I'm right here, I'm right here, I'm right here. And I couldn't see him and I ended up having to walk 5 minutes to find this Uber. So I recognized him because I recognized the profile picture. But the thing is I can't remember if the vehicle was the same, but the license plate were the same. So at first I was like, it's either a stolen license plate that he's using or it's the stolen car with his own plates on it. And it was the latter. So he had stolen the car that we were Ubering in and he put his license plate on it. You know, he thought he was going to get caught if he just switched the license plate to the car, and on Uber he just registered like the new car with the same plates. I don't know how the police found us.
I'm watching you, Wazowski. Always watching.
Like I said, I didn't even see the police cars coming in out of nowhere. It was in front of us. So I don't know if they were tracking him for a while. I don't think he's been wanted since July. And I can't remember if the same car that he drove me in July was the same car that I was in. It doesn't say on the Uber app. Trust me, I was going through. I was like searching, but I did figure out that it wasn't stolen plates. So he's been wanted by the police for a while. They finally caught him when I was in the Uber. It's just like, that's my luck. What else? Oh, Uber. So I reached out to them, like I filed a report and I said like, it's a pretty traumatic experience that I was, you know, pulled over. Thank God nothing went bad. And Uber literally said, which is probably just a statement that they use on everyone. Hi, Lindsay. We were concerned about what you shared and want to better understand what happened. Do you mind sharing more details with us? I have yet to reply to this. I have to send an email detailing the description. Hey, I might as well just send them this video. Be like, this is what happened. But yeah, the police have my contact information and they know where I live. They said, we might follow up with you. I'm like, I want to follow up. I want to know what's happening. I'm just thankful that like when the police pulled us over, he didn't just speed off and like go on a big chase. I also want to mention that a couple of days ago, I posted this TikTok. So you know what I just realized? When we're younger, we're told, don't get in a car with strangers, you know? Don't go get candy from the white van. As an adult, we do that with Uber. We're just constantly getting into strangers' cars, you know? But then we have the whole don't talk to strangers, don't meet up with strangers, and we're on dating apps. Like, straight up? We could get murdered so fast these days. How does everything line up? I'm like, it's sketchy how we use Uber and they could be a criminal, and then it happens to me where my Uber driver is an actual criminal. Like, what are the odds that when I post that a couple days later, it happened to me?
That's just freaky.
So I just, the timing and everything makes me a little nervous. I'm gonna probably do another follow-up video if the police ever contact me, and also what Uber does, because it was like a $25 ride, which I know isn't a lot, but I feel like I need to be compensated. Uber, where's that hush money? You can give me like 50K and I won't share this story anymore. Thank you to everyone that reached out asking if I was okay. I'm totally okay. You know, I'm a strong woman. I would have beat a man if I had to. That's all. Thank you guys for sticking around until the end. Hopefully you enjoyed this story time. Just be safe out there and be cautious. And don't trust anyone. That's all. Stick around for some bloopers if there is some. And I'll show you when I show you. Bye. Did I already clap? I don't know. And the police officer was like, sorry, I'm laughing because I'm like, it's nervous laughter. Also, I didn't say who I am, so if you guys don't know who I am, I'm Lindsay Ivan. I just do random shit over here on YouTube. Smash that like button. Comment something down below because I read every single one of my comments. And obviously subscribe to my channel. Oh my god, yes, every single one.